Watch and burn.
God, this record hit like a fucking bomb. Hey everybody. So tonight I want to discuss a record that hit me and, well, the only friend I pretty much had left from high school at this point, like a fucking bomb. And that is the System of a Down's first one. And this came out, if memory serves, around 98 or 99. We didn't get our hands on this till around 2000. And I mean, you talk about the stars aligning. So what we were doing at that point was, for whatever reason, we were recording the episodes of the show that was called Loud on Much Music. It was this punk/metal show that was hosted by George Stroumboulopoulos. Well, for a time there, it actually wasn't hosted by anybody. It was just music videos. But nonetheless, for whatever reason, we were recording each edition of this when it aired. I don't remember why. And anyways, so my buddy was watching it back again, because we would rewatch them. And I completely missed the song. He found this song called War by this band called System of a Down. And it was because of him putting the spotlight or the magnifying glass on that song. It was a live version of the song too. I don't think there's ever been like an actual music video for this. It was just the band live. And he was like, yo, dude, you've got to listen to this. This fucking song kicks ass. And it did. So we were like, we've got to find the System of a Down band. But roughly around the year 2000, give or take, 99, 2000, neither of us drove. And we had jobs, but we weren't like, there was part-time shit because we were both in school and everything. And our choices for places to shop for music were very limited. So we checked the Pickering Town Center, the Music World, and the HMV, and they didn't have it. And unfortunately, that was pretty much it at that point. I was at George Brown, so naturally I'd be in Toronto, so I checked the flagship store, and even the flagship store didn't have it. They told me that they had it in, but they only had one copy, and this record from this unknown band called System of a Down had come and gone. So we were kind of out of luck. So time passes, and my buddy ends up at the Oshawa Center, and he comes home with it. He finds it at the HMV in the Oshawa Center, and at this point, I'm telling you, for whatever reason, the Oshawa Center HMV was like a musical mecca. You know, if you couldn't find it in Pickering, couldn't find it in Toronto, for some reason, Oshawa would shine so bright that the record would be magnetically attracted to that location. And he found the fucking thing. Now, I have never heard metal like this. You know, metal has a very strict set of rules. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to adhere to sort of like the walls and the past that has been built by bands like Metallica and Maiden and that. And I couldn't agree more with an almost strict/dogmatic adherence to these rules. But then every so often, an exception to the rule comes along and completely fucking burns the rule book down. And that band would be System of a Down. You know, when they brought in that more like that dun 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 dun, that galloping sense of bounce that I'd never heard a metal band do before. The only other band that I found, at least at this point, were just as bouncy. Now, of course, they were doing it in their own very unique way, and that was Slipknot with their self-titled debut album from, I think, 99, with Eyeless on it. Eeyore was hidden on that motherfucker. You can't see California without Marlon Brando's eyes. Wow, what a line. Anyways, so they were the only other band who seemed to have this sort of fresh sense of bounce. I still say, like, Slipknot for me, after Iowa, things got a little divisive there. They were hit or miss, and for me, Slipknot was mostly miss. I really liked 5, the Grey Chapter, but I didn't love 4. 3 wasn't bad. I don't know, but System of a Down with this record, Jesus Christ, every song is killer. Rick Rubin finds this band. My God, thank you, Rick Rubin. I don't know where I would be personally without Rick Rubin's contribution to modern music history. I mean, everybody from the Beastie Boys and Public Enemy right up to reinvigorating and reinventing Johnny Cash's and Neil Diamond's careers through bands like turning the Red Hot Chili Peppers from a fucking college band into the megastars that they would become on Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And then System of a Down, of course, in addition to a billion other bands. But this record is flawless. I mean, Sweet Pea's on here, No's on here, Sugar's on here, Spider's on here, Da Devil. Now, I don't know if it's Devil or Da Devil, but you gotta shake your spirit, Shakespeare. Fucking right. It's a really good line. War is on here, Darts is on here, and all the songs I forgot to name, they're flawless too. And that's like possibly the weirdest thing about System of a Down is from record to record, their sound would change so immensely. Like, they would maintain that sense of themselves, and they would always have that patented System sort of dun 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 to each song, that sort of galloping Armenian thing that they would bring in and would make this so fresh. That, of course, would hold. But if you look at this record and you compare it to Toxicity, it's like night and day. You know, Darren doesn't really sing a lot on this, and whereas Darren is introduced on Toxicity as a major vocalist, and then through Hypnotize and Mesmerize, which I do see as one album. I'll do 2 separate videos, of course, but I see them as one double album. Darren, his voice would be such a predominant part of System's musical delivery that I can't divorce myself from having Darren singing. Like, he is such an integral part of the vocal side of System of a Down. It's amazing to think that he didn't have a bigger vocal presence on this record. I mean, Serge nails it, but once Darren kicked in and started singing with him, and he got that fucking duetting thing, I mean, my God, this band is flawless. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking, because I think I spent half of this talking about like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and shit, and hunting for the record. I don't even think I said anything, but I'm stopping anyways. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over, or actually no, just about 6.5 minutes while I discuss System of a Down's debut album from way back in 1998. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, don't forget that the world is actually a better place because you are in it. I'm gonna go. Have a good night.